Alright then, so welcome back to another video. So tonight we are looking at a new company. Like I said, we're trying to look at a new company every single night. If you appreciate that, please do subscribe. But yeah, we're looking at Newborn Acquisitions Corp stock today, or Nbac stock, or Nbac stock. And yeah, I think the reason why we are looking at this is because of the merger going through. We're going to be talking about why this is significant, everything which you should need to know for the stock, and everything relevant. So if that does sound like a good idea, if that sounds like a good plan for a video, please do like and subscribe. We are trying to get to 100,000. I know that we are very early in the stages, but let's just say 2,000 is our next goal. So can we hit that as soon as possible? It would be appreciated. On top of that, come and join us on Discord. Link to our Discord is in the description, so come and join us over there. I'd love to see you there. But yes, we're going to start off by just looking into the stock based on price. So we're going to start off looking back to the 6-month period, and we can really see that most of the growth has happened very recently, and it has been very steep. So for the majority of the period, the stock has been worth about $10, and that is fairly average for one of these companies. You know, a special acquisitions company. It's not really going to be moving too much unless there is a merger going on. And then people do recognize that and then buy into the stock. So obviously we can see that has happened here. Looking at this onto the 1 month chart, we can really see this all picked up mainly from the 20th of November, but really mainly from the 24th of November. But we did see our first action on the 20th all the way up here. So we can see that we saw the stock rise over 119%. So very nice to see indeed. But ever since then, it has taken a small sell-off. So the sell-off took us from highs of 22.27 down to 17.30 initially, and then even lower down to 16.12. So what does this mean, and what should you do? Well, here are my opinions. First things first, I would not really be too worried about the sell-off, and that is mainly just because, you know, the merger has not officially gone through yet, and I don't even think that the date is too close, and I think that is one of the main reasons. But also, once these news articles and pieces do get announced, of course, there is that initial hype buying in, then people just look around at the market and say, hey, a lot of other people have bought in, and now my stock is up 120%. Then they just sell out the stock with a nice profit. Fair play to them. Some people do, you know, sell the news once it does come out, if you will, and then make their profits that way. But everybody does take a different style of trading. But my opinion is on the stock. Can we see the growth increase even further? Yes, I do think that we can, up until the merger. And that's because of the similar pattern which we have seen in a lot of SPACs, where they basically go through a big pump up until the merger, and then people do sell off with their nice profits, because people do go for a swing trading approach where they invest for a small period of time for a large profit. And often that does work. That is a pattern which we have seen with a lot of stocks recently, and I don't think that this will be any exception. But looking into it for the long-term perspective, I have got a few important pieces of news which do show that this is a potentially huge market sector. So we're going to start off with what the company does. So this is coming from the Nuvve website itself. We can see they work on vehicle-to-grid technology. So if you don't already know what that is, it's basically, to put it as simple as I possibly can, and I have Googled this to make sure, simply put, it's kind of like electric vehicle charging. You know, you charge the vehicle to the grid. So from what I can tell, the vehicle-to-grid technology is the tool which connects the actual vehicle to the electricity grid. I think this image does demonstrate it quite easily, but I think everybody is getting what I'm saying with that one anyway. So yeah, we can see how this is going to be a growing market sector. If you can't see how this is going to be a growing market sector, I'm just going to tell you a few significant numbers which I think that you should know right now. So first things first, if you haven't already been able to tell, I'm sure you obviously have, a lot of the cars around us are switching to electricity. Now, whether you like petrol and diesel or not, the case is electric cars are the future, whether we like it or not. So obviously, because of that, I think companies like this do really have the opportunity to make their name known in an emerging market. So like I said, a few important numbers. So far, and this is just a prediction from Google, it can be wrong, but we'll say it's roughly correct. There are 1.4 billion cars on the roads. And this is absolutely all over the world. Please do note, of course, these are mainly all petrol cars and diesel cars, of course, as well. Not a lot of these at all are going to be electric cars. But when we look at a few graphs down here, if we can see that in the future, guess what? Electric vehicle sales are expected to go higher than, petrol and diesel sales. So right now, the majority of the market share is for petrol and diesel. For the future, the majority of the market share is going to be electricity. Now, you know what, guys? I know that you are smart people. You are very smart people. That's why you clicked on our video. But the thing is, we can all do a simple bit of mathematics and understand that, a lot of cars are going to be electric. What does this mean? It means that there is a great opportunity to make money because all electric vehicles will need charging at some point, and many of these will need adapters like this to do so. So, like I said, with ChargePoint and Blink as well, these are really big potential companies which not a lot of people really, in perspective to the electric car manufacturers, are looking at. And I think when it comes to public stocks, these are kind of taking it in turns. First, we saw the IPOs of companies like NIO and also XPeng. Then we saw obviously Tesla, which is the biggest electric vehicle stock. These were the big, electric vehicle stocks. Now we are getting, in my opinion at least, the charging stocks. And I think in the future, and as well right now, some of them are already out, but I do see us getting the battery stocks as well. So would I consider this one a buy? I would personally, yes, consider this one a buy because I would consider it as a portfolio diversifier. If I was going for electric vehicle investing, which I'm sure a lot of people are, I know that a lot of people on Discord are, where they are, looking to buy a few electric vehicle stocks, I think it would make the most sense to, take advantage of all sectors of the market. And I think probably charging and batteries are the ones which we expect to grow the most, at least in my opinion. Of course, I am not a financial advisor, but I do expect charging and batteries to be the biggest growers in my opinion, and that's due to the fact that, first things first, batteries and chargers both do wear out, whereas with a vehicle, if worse comes to worse, you can do a motor swap, you can do this, you can do that, swap the tyres, swap the body parts, but batteries will always wear out and die, and the same can be said for power capacity in the battery. The battery will always need charging at some point, and for that reason, it's a sustainable business model, more so than electric cars. I mean, electric cars, yes, still does have a huge growth to come, but if you think about it, vehicle charging is something which people are going to use every single day, whether you have an electric vehicle bought 6 years ago, whether you have an electric vehicle bought 6 days ago, you are going to need to charge that car the same way. So I hope that made sense to you guys. I would personally keep this one on my watch list, so I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please do leave that like and subscribe. I would appreciate that massively. Come and join us on Discord. See you there. Goodbye until then.